This video is sponsored by G2A. Use cashback code DORON for 3% off on Warcraft products. Hello guys, this is Doron's Movies, and today I'll be talking about what lore you should know for Classic WoW, giving you ways to prepare for WoW Classic so that you can enjoy questing and the entire storyline to the fullest extent. So, without further ado, let's get into the lore. We're going to start this off with the most basic and the lowest efforts up to the most advanced, including reading books to get the fullest depth of the story and the characters. The level 1, simplest thing you can do is to just play through Warcraft 3, and if you have, since I'm guessing you have as you're watching this video, I'd recommend going through it again. Just playing Warcraft 3 will get you about 60% set to understand the entire storyline of WoW. You will see how the undead were created, what happened to Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, and how the two factions were set up. You'll also understand what the Burning Legion is, the Scourge, and most of the major characters. I'd also recommend playing through Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2 to get an even better understanding of the story, especially that of the Horde, although that may be a bit trickier as they are very old games. For most people, I'd say this really is enough, and you will have a very basic but foundational understanding of Warcraft lore. Now, for level 2, I would recommend reading all 3 Chronicle books. This definitely is a bit more advanced, but it is very much worth it. If you're not really a big fan of books in general, Chronicle would still be a good idea as it is very well written and easy to read through. It is sort of like a summary of Warcraft lore and an encyclopedia as opposed to the novels, which are a lot more time consuming. If you read through these 3 books, you will get a really good understanding of the entire Warcraft universe. Not just the current storyline, but about how Azeroth was created, who the old gods are, who the titans are, how the current races came to be, what the universe around Azeroth is, and how everything led to WoW Classic. A lot of these storylines won't be incredibly relevant for vanilla, but knowing them will make the game a lot more enjoyable, and you will realize just how much depth there is with WoW lore. Sure, Classic is like 80% boring fetch quests, but at least you will know why they're relevant and what your role is in the universe. Aside from that, the Chronicle covers almost all of the important characters that are relevant in Classic, such as Ragnaros, Nefarian, Teradres, Kel'Thuzad, etc. In my opinion, reading the 3 Chronicle books is really the biggest bang for the buck you can get out of reading. Now for level 3, if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty details and you really want to get a lot more advanced, here are some book recommendations and novels you should read to get the backstories on very relevant characters and to enjoy Classic as much as possible. The most important book would be The Cycle of Hatred, which occurs 1 year before Classic, in between the game and Warcraft 3. It essentially covers the relations between the Alliance and the Horde after their union in the face against the Burning Legion. You'll get a really good understanding of the two factions, and you will see how the story is set up for the game. Second, in regards to the most relevant books, would be the War of the Ancients trilogy, so that you understand how the War of the Ancients came to be 10,000 years ago, who the Burning Legion is, who the Night Elves are, and how the Sundering shaped and affected Azeroth, creating it as it is in WoW Classic. The War of the Ancients is really one of the most important events that ever happened, and its effects echo up to this point in time. Third would be to go to the Lord of the Clans, so that you see the story of Thrall and how the Horde was freed and created, which in turn is connected to the events of Warcraft 3. Another good book is The Day of the Dragon, covering the story of Ronin after the Second War, and will give you a lot of insight into the dragon aspects, Alexstrasza, Deathwing, and the Alliance. Additional reading I'd include is of Blood and Honor, which covers the story of Tyrion and Ithric, the state of the Alliance, the human and orc relations, although this is sort of a minor storyline. Now, if you'd like to get even more in depth, understanding the Horde and the First and the Second War, I'd recommend reading The Rise of the Horde, Tides of Darkness, The Last Guardian, and Beyond the Dark Portal. All of these will explain the First Two Wars, Medivh, Gul'dan, Orcs, the Alliance, and everything in between. Lastly, level 4, and really the most advanced, is to go to the comics and to get really the rest of the storyline. storylines. Ideally, you should go through the WoW comic series with the 4 volumes, as it covers the kidnapping of Varian, the gladiators, and will help you understand the state of the Alliance and the Horde further, as well as the relations between the two factions and the hatred that will occur later. It will also help you see the position of Stormwind and Terramore and how everything is set up in-game. I'd also recommend reading the Ashbringer, which will give you insight into the Scourge invasion, Nexramas, and the state of the Plaguelands, which is a very important and relevant zone and a storyline in classic WoW. Ultimately, if you go through all of this, you will see how much more fun the game is when you know the entire storyline, you know the characters, you see the depth of the questlines, and how every zone and character plays a part in the universe. Now, of course, if you don't have the time or the patience to go through all of this reading, I'd recommend just playing Warcraft 3 and really paying attention to the story, and additionally, you can watch my videos as I have over 500 now covering various types of storylines. There are also plenty of other YouTubers as well as resources like Wowpedia. Hope you guys enjoy WoW Classic and see you in game. Thank you for watching. Check out the more in-depth video covering 10 lore facts you should know for Classic by clicking on the screen, and also check out the second channel, Doran's Academy, for videos on real-world history and science. See you next time.